Okay, so looks like we are there.
Yay!
I will start recording as well. Hello, Tanya.
Hello, Julia.
I'm so happy to see you here. Thank you for joining.
Oh, I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for the invitation.
So, guys, we are happy to invite you to this new, absolutely fantastic space of this new for Russian audience facilitator, Tanja Barth.
Hi,
So,
guys.
Tanya, could you please share with us some information about you? Because really Russian people don't know anything about you and your brilliance. And I had no idea about what huge space you be before, one of my friends, Tamara Lagosha, she is translator, Russian translator. She told me about you, and I was really amazed what space you are being. Could you share with us who are you? What are you doing?
Yeah, thank you so much. And what space I'm being. So, without going into definitions, I'm not a person who really likes to talk a lot about myself, but sometimes it really helps to give people a background. And I basically, after university, started to work in the corporate world. And I was working with Price Waterhouse back then, which was top 5 in the auditing companies. And I have seen major companies all over the planet, basically, and had big clients like Kodak, Sony, IBM, Hewlett Packard, and all that kind of corporates. And since I got bored really quickly with the auditing, I was being part of special projects and worked a lot of with due diligence, M&A, and stuff like that. And I did lots of IPOs in the early years when there was the new economy market. And also, I spent a few years on and off in Russia. So I was part of the Eastern European consolidation team of Price Waterhouse, and we did an audit of our company, basically. And this is how I got to see Moscow, I would say at least 15 times, and for 2 to 3 weeks, so quite a while. And I saw the different seasons in Russia, and I kind of fell in love with it because the Russian people, for me, how I experienced them in the beginning, they were a bit like shy and did not really open up that easily. But when they did, oh my God, they were the warmest, kindest, sweetest, most caring people I have ever met. So I'm really happy to be here and connect with you guys. And yeah, this was the first part of my career. I was working as a manager in an auditing company, and then a merger, a worldwide merger happened, and I was one of those people who was totally excited on Sunday evenings to get to work the next day, which might be crazy for most of you guys, but I was like, yay, another company, another adventure. What will I learn? What will I get to know? And I was totally happy with my job. And then with that merger, different cultures were merged. And in my opinion, at least in Germany, they did not really match. And in Germany, they had 3 corporate companies, but they were never integrated. So it were different cultures, and it was like I started learning how to, yeah, I had feelings like I kind of got married to a bad family. That's the easiest how to express it. And I was really unhappy. And with all the IPOs I did, I was doing an IPO for a company that was the very first video on demand company, which you now know as Netflix and stuff like that, back in 2000. And there I met the major shareholder, who was a billionaire, self-made billionaire, a young guy. He was 34 back then. And he offered me a job as his private equity person. And unhappy as I was, I got happy again and I chose it. And I learned a lot with him. And it was a really interesting experience working for him because I had to learn all about financial instruments, assets, and what there is to learn. And also, I experienced a lot of ups and downs as well because the new market crashed and then he decided to become operative again. And from my private equity part, I basically became a CFO of his company dealing with day-to-day business. And I was not really signing up for that. And I got to know much more about him when we moved together in an office and I saw how he treated people. And for me, it was really, really interesting to see how he kind of like had a really, really bad behavior. He screamed at them. He kind of like manipulated them. And I always say them because to me, he was nice. He didn't do that. But I didn't see a future with a behavior like that. And even worse, I kind of like made a choice or a decision, as I said back then. If you have to be an asshole like that to be a billionaire, I'm not interested. I don't care about money. And with that choice, my life changed. I really
Nice choice, really nice choice.
Yeah, not so nice because what really happened was then I started having a hard time with money because I neglected money. And before that, I always had money. I always had more money than anyone around me. It just came to me with ease. But with that choice, I uninvited money from my life. And this is one question I would like to ask everyone here on the Facebook Live. When did you uninvite money in your life? So everything that is, guys, will you please revoke, resent, reclaim, renounce, denounce, destroy, and uncreate all of that?
Yay.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, online, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And look at the energies you guys have with money. Do you love it? Do you hate it? And there's much more space in hating it. So whose hate are you buying with regards to money to create the financial situation you are choosing? Everything that is times a godzillion, will you destroy and uncreate it, please, and return all of that back to sender with consciousness attached? Yes. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, online, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And what if money is not the issue? What if money, it's not the fault of the money? You always blame money. And a lot of people live their life giving money the responsibility in their life. No, I cannot do this class. Don't have the money. No, I cannot go on vacation. I don't have the money. You always blame money. But please, guys, money comes to you if you choose, if you're open for it. And if you don't use money as an excuse. So everywhere you have used money as an excuse that doesn't allow you to have tons of money with ease, joy, and glory, will you please destroy and uncreate all of that? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, online, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Cool. And then after the experience with the billionaire, I kind of like handed in my resignation and returned to PricewaterhouseCoopers, but in a different position because they created a special department called transaction services, where you basically were dealing with buying, selling companies and stuff like that. So I was working there for quite a while as a manager again, and I experienced a burnout because I had 60 to 100 hours weeks, and I worked really a lot. And you can do that for a certain amount of time, but the company hasn't changed so much that I saw my long-term future with Pricewaterhouse. And at one stage, I was like, I need a holiday. So I went to India for 6 weeks, did a Panchakarma treatment. And when I returned 6 weeks afterwards, I walked into the office of my boss And he told me, yes, your next job will be in Düsseldorf. It's a 6-week data room project. And I was like, no, not doing that. I'm not being locked in a room with 500 files, which I have to read all, I have to go through all, and I have to know everything that is in the files for the next 6 weeks sitting in an office. I'm done. And I was like shocked of myself a little bit, but it came from the deepest of my heart. And I handed in the resignation again, not knowing what to do. And what I did, I became self-employed and dealt with local lawyers, tax advisors, and supported them in their transactions for years. But this kind of job, kind of like I could do it, it was easy, but it never fulfilled me. And maybe a lot of you guys have a job that you do because of the money that doesn't fulfill you. And I worked like that for years. And I was always asking, what is required to have that fun again that I had when I started working with Price Waterhouse, to be that joyful. Everyone called me Miss Sunshine because when I came in the room, I literally lit up every room because I was so joyful and I enjoyed my work. And I knew it was possible, but I didn't know how to get there. So what I learned with Price Waterhouse was basically, I saw hundreds of companies in great detail, and I really saw that I don't want to work there and that I don't want to be there. And it made me, it made it really hard for me to know what I want. And then I also started working with people. I co-founded a company with a medium. She was a channeling medium. And we basically did a joint venture partnerships. And I worked with her for 4 years. And we were doing channeling seminars and retreats. So I was more into the spiritual arena because that was basically feeding my being. And what I discovered back then, it's not only that you have to nurture your body with physical stuff, you also have to nurture your being with energetical stuff that creates a creative flow, that creates joy, and that really nurtures your entire being. And that part really created that. Unfortunately, I got more separated within me, more and more, doing the corporate stuff, doing the spiritual stuff. I was kind of like divided and created a big separation
Mhm.
within me. And
As
then I
all of
was like,
us, actually, as all of us do, with all these modalities.
I don't have that anymore. I don't have that anymore. And what is required to really bring everything together? So thank you for intervening and really adding that. So what jails are you guys using to create the dominance of E equals MC squared for the creation of the separation within you and everything you be and do? So everything that is times a godzillion, will you destroy and uncreate it, please?
Yes.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock online, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And what if, Julia, if there is no separation required? What if you could now allow all the parts and pieces to come together and create something completely new? And everything that doesn't allow that, all your DJCCs and pissers, and I'm pretty sure you know what I mean, all the decisions, judgments, conclusions, computations, projections, expectations, separations, judgments, and rejections you have that do not allow you to be in communion with everything you be, with everything you do, with all that you are, will you please revoke, resent, reclaim, renounce, denounce, destroy, and uncreate all of that, please?
Yes.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock online, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And what if, guys, if you are basically the source that creates your life, and all that is required is you choosing to be all that you are, and really choosing, demanding, claiming, owning, and acknowledging that you are the source of your life, and everything can now come together. And everything that doesn't allow that, will you please destroy and uncreate it all? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyonds. So then I did that, experienced the separations. A few years later, we separated, and I was at a stage in my life where I was very unhappy again and not sure what to do. And I was like, I don't want to live anymore. Otherwise, unless something changes, I don't want to live anymore. It sounds a little bit like Dane's story, but I really was at that stage. And um, early on, I met Dane and Gary in 2010 for the first time in a telesummit series. I watched a lot of, or listened, back then we didn't have Zoom. I listened to a lot of international telesummits where Gary and Dane were guest speakers. And I really wondered, and I liked those guys. Something changed every time, and I was in a better mood, but I didn't do any classes. And I was listening regularly to the free radio show they had in 2011 on World Puja, but I never did a class. In 2012, I was so pissed off with my business that I wanted to create something new. And I joined one of those telesummit ladies for a 6 months business coaching. And this lady, her very first action she took, she invited everyone, all of us, to Dane's very first Being You class, which was in Los Angeles. And I was totally excited to get there. Unfortunately, back then I was working with companies. They were about to be bankrupt. And I was like the saver, the angel who created a different future for them. And the day before my plane was about to leave, they started a project again. And I couldn't say, no, I'm going on holiday, do whatever you like. So that was not possible. And thanks to Susie Gotzi, this class was already streamed back in 2012. So what I did is I watched the class. I could sense that my entire life had changed and I was megaton fried. So I looked for a bars facilitator and I found one. And I did 3 bars sessions. And after that, I really had a sense of wanting to live again and having a future. And I did the bars facilitator within 3 weeks, which was a miracle back then because there were no classes. There was no CF in Germany. I was the first CF who then became a CF and started doing classes there. And now Germany has, the German speaking region has maybe 70 facilitators or something. So it's really grown immensely compared to when I started. And I met a very wonderful lady, my dear friend Curry Glassell. And I'm not sure if you heard of Curry. Curry is a daughter of a billionaire. And I met her for the first time in a buddy class with Shannon. And she did an intro class on Right Riches for You. And there she said, the lady, talking about money, having total fun with it, having total ease with it. And I was sitting there and my entire universe, I told you my belief system, you have to be an asshole to be rich. Yeah. My entire universe crashed because there was the sweetest, kindest lady who was not an asshole at all. And she really came from wealth. So this was like, wow, that is possible. I want that. And after class, I went to her. I just thanked her. I hugged her and I cried like a baby. And the poor woman didn't know what was happening. I told her later, but in that stage, I just cried and my whole universe was shifted. And back then, I really chose for myself, I want to contribute to people to change their financial situation. And I worked with Curry for years with Right Riches. We created classes together, basically in the German and English speaking region. Russia was not a place to be. And when Gary offered us to do the Right Riches for You facilitator, which is now called Wealth Creators Anonymous, I became one of those. And I also did a training with Curry for Right Riches intro facilitators 2 or 3 years ago. So I'm one of the right riches for you facilitators, and also joy of business, right body for you, talk to the entities, and what brought me to Access being you facilitators. And yeah, what contribution can I be for you? Do you have any questions? That was kind of a long introduction, but I can talk and talk and talk if required.
Yeah, actually, I have a lot of questions for you.
Cool.
And the first thing that I want to ask you, do you have any slogan for your life? Like some phrase which is, moving you forward all the time?
Um, I have that for my life. I would more say I'm currently creating my new website.
Mhm.
And as a tagline, I have becoming a greater version of you. And this is something that I have been doing my entire life, to always become greater. And there is no end to it. It's like always evolving and expanding. And there is another thing, because as a project from my 6 months business class, I created the very first all access telesummit with access speakers, where I interviewed Gary, Dane, Simone, and all these people. And this is how I met them for the first time. And I got so excited with what they had to share that I chose to become a facilitator back then. It was a really, really great gift. And that was something really, really cool that I created from that whole business project. It really opened up a different space where I, for the first time, really enjoyed what I was doing. Unfortunately, back then, I still had some, I would say, a lot of points of view about money that didn't allow me to make money with that telesummit. But I created so much different things. Yeah.
So it's kind of, you're some kind of, let's say, pioneer in everything, because with everything that you said in every business, you were some kind of pioneer. Was it
Always, yeah.
easy? Yeah. Was it easy for you to expand access consciousness in Germany?
Um, if I look back, I would say yes. Back then, it was not always easy, because when I started, I was a lot functioning from the way I picked it up in the corporate world. I tried to control things, I tried to force things into action. And I know the Russians do that too.
All the time, all the time.
I've seen that working, and maybe you also know Tatiana. She lives in Greece. She is also Russian.
Yes.
Yeah, I always call her my favorite Russian bulldozer, because you give her a task and she totally gets it, and that bulldozer part is a compliment, because a bulldozer goes and gets stuff done and gets things created. And the Russians are like that. They are like, I want to have that. And some Germans like me are like that too. And it's kind of a quality, but with that whole access thing, it not always works out so good. So it's really much more, it can be much easier than we allow ourselves to have it. So what have you all made so vital, valuable, and real about force, control, and judgment that doesn't allow you the ease, joy, and glory that is actually possible if you function from question, choice, possibility, and contribution? So everything that is and everything that doesn't allow you to outcreate all of that, will you please destroy and uncreate it all? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock all night, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And what I wanted to say with that, Julia, I would say I could do it much quicker now, applying the tools, and back then I tried to force some stuff, and it's so much easier if you just ask for it and allow the energies to contribute and receive the contribution.
True story.
But
What would it
sometimes,
take? What would it take for us to play with it more and more and more?
yeah, it's really like, if you ask that, it requires vulnerability, trust in yourself. Basically, the 5 elements of intimacy with you, that whole thing with gratitude, honor, allowance, trust, and vulnerability. The more you have that with you, the more you know that things will work out. You do not know how, but you really trust in what you are and trust in the process. So, what is required to really embody the 5 elements of intimacy, even in business? And everything that doesn't allow that, will you guys please revoke, resent, reclaim, renounce, denounce, destroy, and uncreate it all? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, online, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And what if we could actually function in business without barriers? What if we could be really vulnerable? I wonder what that will create. And for me, a great energy in business that is required is potency. And I watched Dane over the years increasing his potency, but it also comes with an increase in vulnerability. Great potency requires vulnerability to grow and expand.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's really like allowing yourself to be the potent bitch, but also the soft, kind, and vulnerable bitch if required. And everything that doesn't allow you to claim, own, acknowledge, embody, and actualize the potency and vulnerability that you truly are, will you please destroy and uncreate it all? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, online, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Yeah.
Great conversation. Thank you so much. I wanted to also ask you about not creating, even dealing with businesses, because in Russia, what I see at the moment, and I guess you saw it in previous years working here, that business is a huge destructor implant, really, one of the biggest, I would say, in Russia. So how is it? I know that you work a lot with German audience, and at the moment as well with, like, you are just worldwide facilitator. So is it changing now?
For me, business is a distractor implant if you make it so. Distractor implant means that it's kind of distracting you from what is beneath that. And a lot of people kind of like identify themselves and basically create their image, their persona, their self-worth on their role in business. And what I experienced, and I kind of left that out, but not on purpose, was when I resigned from being a manager, I was kind of like my whole identity was tumbling down because I literally gained my self-worth from that role of being a manager. And a lot of people do that. They define themselves with what they do. They think what they do is what they are. So everywhere you have misidentified and misapplied what you do is what you are, will you please destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all 9 shorts, boys, and beyonds. And, titles were never really interesting. I also got offered CEO titles and jobs, and I don't care about that because sometimes I do CEO work, sometimes I do secretary work. Who cares? If it's required, someone needs to do it. And sometimes it's easier if you do it. So if you're not seeing your business as the source of the creation of your identity, it's not a distractor implant. And if you're not using your business to basically distract you from your living, it's not a distractor implant, but a lot of people use it like that. And I would say it's a choice. So everywhere you guys have made the choice to use your business to distract you from your living or to use it as a source to create an identity that doesn't allow you to be the space of being that you truly are, will you please destroy and uncreate it all?
Yes.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyonds. For 8 years ago, Gary did a telecall series on business, 12 steps to create a business that works for you. And I was really like eating up every word he said. And in the first call, he said, business is basically a platform for the exchange of possibilities. And I really liked that definition because there is no significance in it. It's just an exchange platform for possibilities.
It's
So,
so beautifully said. Yes.
yeah. So, what have you misidentified and misapplied in business that doesn't allow you to actualize your business as an exchange platform for possibilities? So, everything that is times a godzillion will you destroy and uncreate it all. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And you know, the greatest issue that I've seen with myself and always see with others, because I do a lot of business classes, boot camps, and stuff like that, is that all the people think that they have to give, and they do not allow themselves to receive from their business, to receive from their employees, to receive from their team. So I would say we have a great change ahead if we actually start functioning from gifting and receiving in business. And it's way more fun and way less exhausting. So, what is required for you guys to literally claim, own, acknowledge, and most importantly, choose to start functioning from gifting and receiving in business? And really leave the old reality behind where it's all about taking, or giving. So everything that is times a godzillion, will you guys destroy and uncreate it all? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyonds.
Such a different perspective.
Yeah. So much more fun.
Yeah.
It really brings the fun back if you are also starting to receive from your business. Do you have a business?
Yes.
Well,
Much more than one.
shall we do a little exercise?
Yes, please.
Yeah, cool. Okay, so I invite you and everyone else listening now or later to just take a few good deep breaths and allow yourself to be totally present in your body. Really relax into your body and connect with your body, with all the cells in your body. And relax even deeper in your body. And through your body, I would like to invite you to relax into the earth. And I kind of like that picture. If you like it too, you can imagining having little light roots coming out of your feet and connecting with the earth and really growing deep down into the earth until the earth core, and really deeply connect. And now I would like to ask your body, hey body, what contribution can you be today? And what contribution can I be for you today? And everything that doesn't allow that, will you please destroy and uncreate it all? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And now let's connect again to the earth. Hey, sweet earth, what contribution can you be today? And what contribution can I gift you today? And everything that doesn't allow that, destroy and uncreate it, please. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And now I would like you not only connect with the entire earth, but really expand out while deeply staying connected with the earth into the entire universe. And allow yourself to become even bigger than the universe. And also ask the universe, hey, universe, what contribution can you be today? And what contribution can I give you today? And everything that doesn't allow that, destroy and uncreate it. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock online, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And now I would like to invite you to imagining a golden bubble in front of you. And in that bubble, you shrink your business and you put all the parts and pieces that you consider as your business in that golden bubble right in front of you. Cool. So let's now destroy and uncreate all the relationships you have with your business and all the parts and pieces of your business. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock online, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And what jails are you using to create the dominance of E equals mc squared for the creation of the comfortable distance between you and your business you are choosing? Everything that is times a godzillion will you destroy and uncreate it, please. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. And now perceive the energy of your business. And maybe you can perceive it's a little bit like a puzzle, and the parts and pieces are not really connected, and it's not really what it can be, but we're getting there. So just acknowledge the energy of your business. Also acknowledge the separation that you have created in your business. So what shales are you using to create the dominance of E equals mc squared for the creation of the comfortable distance between the individual parts of your business you are choosing that doesn't allow you to be in total communion with everything your business is? So everything that is times a godzillion, will you destroy and uncreate it, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. And now I would like to invite you to destroy and uncreate all the jobs, all the tasks, all the responsibilities that you have given your business, or that you have given parts of your business consciously and unconsciously, that are no longer a contribution to you, to your life, your living, your business, and your future. All of that will you now revoke, rescind, resent, reclaim, renounce, denounce, destroy, and uncreate all of this, please. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. And while being really present with your business, that's all that is required right now. I would like you to perceive your business and ask the universe, can I now have my successful business that is filled with ease, joy, and glory? Can I now have, skip the my, can I now have the successful business with ease, joy, and glory? Can I now have the successful business with ease, joy, and glory? Because a lot of you guys have never asked for that. You always think you want to be successful, but really ask the universe for it. And you do that from a place where you acknowledge that you are a part of the universe. So the universe is not bigger than you. It's kind of like with the ocean and the drop. You are on one hand side the drop, but on the other hand side the entire ocean. And from that place of acknowledging, you basically ask the universe to contribute to you for that ask. Can I now have the successful business with ease, joy, and glory? And perceive the energy. Don't do anything. Just ask for it again. Can I now have the successful business with ease, joy, and glory? Can I now have the successful business with ease, joy, and glory? Can I now have the successful business with ease, joy, and glory? Can I now have the successful business with ease, joy, and glory? And relax into it even more. Just allow it to occur. Perceive it, receive it, enjoy it, and relax into it even more. And what contribution is your business actually that you have not received yet? And everything that doesn't allow that, will you now revoke, resent, reclaim, renounce, denounce, destroy, and uncreate it all? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, online, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And will you now please lower all your walls and barriers and start receiving the contribution that your business would like to give to you? Just be present and receive. Nothing that has to be done. Just be and receive. And receive even more. Relax into that creative, expansive flow of contribution that your business would like to give to you. Just be present with it. And allow yourself to receive it. And receive even more. And really enjoy the yumminess of your business. And relax even more into it and allow yourself to enjoy it even more. And now ask all the parts and pieces that are a part of your business, and even those that you do not see yet or that you haven't even considered as a part of your business. Allow all the parts of piece and pieces of your business now to contribute to each other, to allow them to contribute to even more success, to even more greatness, and to what else is possible where we might not even have the words for. So, what energy, space, consciousness, choice, magic, miracles, mysteries, and possibilities can you, your body, and your business be to be that simultaneity of gifting and receiving that we call contribution with total ease, joy, and glory for all eternity? And everything that doesn't allow that, will you please destroy and uncreate it all? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. And everywhere you have uninvited success in your business, will you now revoke, resent, reclaim, renounce, denounce, destroy, and uncreate all of that, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock online, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And guys, success is basically a space of being. It's nothing that you do. And if you ask 100 people what success is for them, it's 100 different things. But what if what success actually is a space of being that you can now choose, that you can now open up in yourself and embody. And everything that doesn't allow that, will you please destroy and uncreate it all? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And Julia, will you now allow yourself to be successful?
Yes, please.
And will you allow the entire universe to contribute to you, to your body, and to your business, and to the success, the space of being success that you truly are? And everything that doesn't allow that, will you please destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And if you now tap into your business, is it any different?
It's different. Definitely, it's different.
Cool.
Beautiful space.
Yeah, let's do one last thing. Connect with the bubble, the golden bubble in front of you, and also connect with the zone of your business, the zone of awareness, the zone of your business, and pull that bubble out and make it big, big, bigger, 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 and really allow your business to be as big as it actually is.
Oh.
Cool. Yay! And
Such a beautiful space and beautiful energy. Thank you so much.
you're so welcome. And this is, business can be easy. And it's really, if you apply the tools, it can be truly magical. And even back then, when I was doing, for example, the project in Russia, this project was called Mission Impossible because it was so complicated and no one thought we could make it. And actually, it was so interesting. We had a deadline, and my boss back then did everything himself. And I was like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm here in an office with hundreds of people. They have to learn how to do it. So I really worked with a lot of different people. They did all get their tasks. And really, 2 hours before the deadline, I completed it. It was a project that ran over 3 years. And my boss was shocked that I made the impossible possible. He was like, how did she do that? And I was always magical in business. And this is something that you guys need to start acknowledging. If you create impossible things, you're being magic. And what if you can be that magic in business? Then the fun starts, in my opinion.
And I want to know more about your classes. And actually about, this one, because it's so rare thing, anonymous wealth creators. I know only one facilitator who does these classes. So what is it about? Is it about expanding as well everything what is going on in your life?
Yeah, so for me, the whole Wealth Creators Anonymous is a lot about being. So it's being the space of wealth, the wealth of being, and also being success. It's kind of like really opening up that being part and allow that being part to actualize in all areas of your life. And it can be different things. So there are a lot of different classes with that Wealth Creators Anonymous. I was working with the billionaire, and later I worked for some rich people and did wealth management for them, applying the knowledge that I collected, how you create a portfolio, what you add to that. And it really starts getting fun again if you apply the access tools. And for example, if you really become aware what the investment is for, is it a short-term investment, a middle-term investment, a long-term investment? And as you all know from foundation, you can ask the stuff, if I buy you, will you bring me money? So it's basically doing that wealth management part, applying the access tools and playing with that. That can be one part. For Wealth Creators Anonymous, I did several classes. One was how to become successful in business, or um, creating wealth, affluence, and abundance. No, money, wealth, and affluence with ease, joy, and glory. That kind of class. And as a Wealth Creators Anonymous facilitator, I can basically do all kinds of business classes, whatever the people require and desire. So these are for me only just titles, but you know, the title, and you might experience that when you are a facilitator, the title is an invitation for people to come, but at the end, the class gets created by the questions, the energy the people bring. So I'm always there to create what is required. It's not in the olden days before Access, I did classes where I thought I had to teach a certain curriculum. And now I'm really playing with the energies, letting go of the limitations, and allowing the possibilities to come in and to be actualized.
Do you have maybe some business course for people who would like to start their own businesses but have no idea what to do? Maybe it's with, I don't know, like this program with you being mentor of this for these people.
Yeah, I have that. That's my very first business class that I still facilitate. This is the title of the class is Business Bootcamp, Creating a Business That Works for You. And I really like that title because it kind of works for you, and also you allow the business to work for you. So it has that double meaning in a way. And this is where I do boot camps. I have done several in German, but I haven't done one in English. And what I thought I could offer to people would be a class that is really new in Joy of Business, that is called Business in Action. And I would offer a 3-part telecall for around 188 euro as 100%, and with country pricing, something like that, for people to really see what's possible with the access tools as a start. And for those who are interested in really diving deep, I could do a boot camp in English afterwards next year. So something like that.
Is it live class boot camp?
Bootcamp is a live class. Yeah. What I did in the past was I did group sessions where I did Q&A and answered people's questions. And I also had specific topics I was talking to people, like being seen and stuff like that, or what does success mean, or the different energies a business require to be successful, gifting and receiving in business. So all these parts and pieces are different modules. And what I always do is that Q&A part. And then I also do, like we just did the exercise, I do a lot of exercises and ask people to play with these exercises in between the modules. And what it really creates, and I've had amazing feedback from people, because they start coming into the flow of creation and stuff shows up in the most unexpected ways. So people come and ask for things, and they are in a totally different flow and actualize a completely different business. Because for me, one of the major differences is, and when I worked for the billionaire, I had every week 20 business plans on my desk, which I had to evaluate and see if that investment is worth investing. So I'm really good in reading business plans. I have done hundreds of business plans myself. So I'm really good in creating them and putting some fantasy in. Uh, but what I really realized is the way we are now doing business, the conscious business, is something that is being created in action. So before you made a plan and then you started to introduce the plan and you identified measures that had to be taken and stuff like that. But now the way business is now created with the whole consciousness and the tool, it's really about you have an idea, you follow the energy, and while you are on your way, new possibilities come in from all directions. And within a few weeks or months, you have a completely different business that you could not plan before because the possibilities were not in your universe. So the whole business plan part is nice as a feasibility study that you know it's possible, but with one choice and adding just another part, the entire business plan is no longer valid. So it's not really about the planning, it's about taking action in business and allowing the universe to contribute and inviting the possibilities in that allow you to create an even greater business.
So what do you have next? Your next class where we can invite Russian audience?
Yeah, so what I thought, I haven't created it yet. I just wanted to check if there is an interest that I do a business in action class in January after Christmas to really start into the new year with exercises, with guidance. And I'm not sure how I do that with the languages because I can order a beer in Russian, but I cannot really speak a lot of Russian, you know. I just know some words and we require a translator for that. But I would be really happy to play with you guys if there is an interest, if you want to expand your business and really add the magic spice into your business, because this is all it is required, and the magic is what you be. So a huge part of what I'm facilitating is really allowing people to invite their being in, to start creating their business from being. And
that's a great part.
Yeah, and that doesn't mean that you only have to be like an enlightened monk. It requires action whenever it requires action.
Let's play with it.
Yeah, I'm happy.
It was fantastic, really.
Thank you.
And there is with this exercise, yeah, it was fantastic.
Cool. And there is so much more. And this is just one little part. There are a lot of other pieces that you could really ask your business to contribute. So I've done with business, I do not know how many business classes I've done in German. I also enjoy the 22 days. I've done several of those, 22 days of transformation business, where you basically play also with the clearings and with tools and exercises. I could also create one of those, but maybe let's start with a 3-part telecall to show people what is possible when they actually be and live the tools. And yeah, what they are able to actualize in business if they start that, because I've seen miracles in my own business. And you know, the whole thing with being totally connected with everyone. And I just ask for things. 2 hours later, somebody calls me and asks me, do you still require that? I've heard something. And I was like, this is the magic that we are now evolving into. Yeah. With our consciousness. And why not be the pioneers of a conscious business?
Awesome.
Cool.
Let's do it. So I have only one last question for you. Do you have a couple minutes?
As long as you wish, my dear.
Okay. So what do you know about business, what nobody else knows? It's like a question of this project, you know.
It is so funny because This question is haunting me. I've asked Gary, I think I do not ask often questions because most of the times I ask the question and the awareness comes anyways. But the last 3 times when I asked Gary something, he always smiled at me. And 3 times he responded, "What do you know? No one else knows." So I've been playing with that for quite a while. And you know what? I can acknowledge that I have an immense energetic awareness of business. I totally know how business and all the systems function in this reality, but I also totally get the energetics. So, what I can do is I do not only facilitate the person, I'm really amazing in facilitating the organism of the business. Because as you might have heard in these business interviews, from X's point of view, a business is an entity of its own. And I'm extremely brilliant and amazing with my talk to the entities capacities to talk to the business and really facilitate the energies in the business. And I've done that back then when I was playing a lot in corporate world, and I did that for 25 years, that I was seeing things and perceiving things no one else saw. You know, I always had that, but I never acknowledged that as a gift. This is something that I have not seen anyone else doing like I do it. And I'm pretty sure there are a lot of other amazing people with amazing capacities in business. But this is something where I have a great gift in being aware and really being aware of the energies and also having the vocabulary to address it, because a lot of people might be aware that there is a disharmonic energy and I can tap in and then I get, oh, HR, something is, what's going on with HR? And then I can find stuff. Yeah. And I always knew the secrets of a business because it was interesting. I was hired basically to ask questions. This was my job. So I picked the right job even 25 years ago. And I asked a lot of questions. And basically, I could ask any question because I was an auditor. And that's my job. I have to ask questions. So I really learned a lot. And people started to trust me really easily. And then they told me all the secrets and all the stories. And I'm really good at that.
Amazing capacity.
Yeah.
Good choice.
Yeah, and that was really fun back then. I learned so much and I enjoyed it. And also playing with people and contributing to them, making stuff better.
Awesome.
Mhm.
Thank you so much, Tanya. It was amazing. And yeah, let's invite Russian audience. And I'm very looking forward
Yay!
for classes with you. Thank you very much.
I'm so grateful. And and this is not a cheesy sentence I'm saying at the end. I would say I really have a deep connection with Russian people. And I totally get the energy and I love and adore you guys. And I'm so great that Russia is now really blossoming and seeing the growth you guys have over there. How amazing. And if I could be a contribution, I'm here and would love to play with you. Join us in January for some more business fun, business magic, and what else is possible, guys. Thank you all for listening, for joining us. And again, Julia, thank you for the invitation. You're an amazing host and interviewer.
Thank you very much. Thank you. See you.
You.